Winners Bet is 100% Aussie owned and we love all things racing. Up for a tote? Win and get the highest payout across the 3 national TAB totes for all winning bets on Australian gallops. And we'll pay out on both winners if your horse loses in a protest during any Australian gallop or harness. Support your local Winners Bet. Go to winnersbet.com.au now. Gamble responsibly.
The Night Train is brought to you by St Andrew's Hotel, 128 Nicholson Street, Fitzroy. Beautifully crafted, cosy and intimate spaces for your drinking and dining experiences.
I think the Knights, their time has arrived. I think last week that 10-man performance in the preliminary final was absolutely exceptional, so I'm going for the Knights.
When you talk of Knights, it's a real fighting team.
Buskuk into the back of the net. Melbourne Knights take the lead 1-0. Melbourne Knights will win the Doherty Cup.
Croatia looking for a finals berth. That's it! The Croatia fans salute the goal that could be so vital.
And good evening, Knights fans. Welcome back to the Night Train, where we'll be discussing everything and anything Melbourne Knights. Now, a bit of a jam-packed show for you tonight. We've obviously got the 2 games against the FA Cup game and the home fixture against South Melbourne to talk about. Our 1-0 win over Dandy City. Bit of an update on where the tournament, a few updates on the tournament, the Croatian soccer tournament for the end of the year. And rejoining us again is Josh Parrish, and I believe, Josh, we have another guest in the studio tonight.
Yeah, we do indeed. What a show! What a show we've got lined off. This is jam packed, and this could go for 2 hours. We'll have to wait and see. It goes for how long it goes.
It goes for how long it goes tonight. Knights fans, we had a bit of a late start, but we will be running over a bit because the show is going to be absolutely jam packed. We've got Jure Dragovic will be joining us at some point later in the show for the update on the tournament news. And coming back to the Night Train in disguise as the one and only Ultimate Warrior, Josh, we've got the music. Ultimate Warrior Smolik is back in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the shot. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back, Mr. Smolik. Good to have you back on the show, my friend.
And as the planets have aligned, so too will the Knights this week twice take on the Sulka Maniacs of South Melbourne Hellas. And we'll be there to defend the Intercontinental title at Bob Jane and at Summer Street. So thank you for having me, Mr. Zovac. You truly are a tasty snack in real life, according to Pashko Župan.
Oh, look, the word on the street is I might be, mate, but we might get to that a bit later in the show. I'm sure Pashko will be joining us in the comments section as he normally does. But to kick the show off, bit of sad news coming out of the club this week, obviously with the untimely passings of Karl Žilić, Pero Basic and Tomo Bozic, all great people around our club who have served our club in various roles on the committee and in and around the club in many other ways. It's sad any week where you lose anyone who meant as much as any one of these great men meant to our club, but to have lost 3 of them within a week is really a sad state of affairs.
It is. Some Tomo Bozic, particularly in my time at the club, was an absolute fixture around the place. And as we were chatting before the show, you were lucky enough to see him at 10th of April at the Dorman at the Knights.
Yeah.
Pero Basic, again, as we saw from the updated Facebook page, the circumstances around how himself, his brother, and another were transferred over to Melbourne, Croatia back in the day, and at a time when the club was getting really ambitious and had a massive role to play. And then Karl Zilic, a shock.
Yeah.
The Zilic family is a massive contributor to the community, not only at Melbourne Knights but at North Geelong. And we know his nephew Adam was a captain for many years. Tom Zilic played many, many years and still involved with the women's program. And I see him around Dobson Reserve often. And
committee member.
Yeah, committee member as well. Absolute fixtures around the club the Juliches have been. Just speaking a little bit more on Torma, we've got a short clip of him here from our 60th anniversary gala, where he had a few words to say about his time at the club.
Ja sam bio član AHD-a i AHD je mene poslao u Melbourne Hrvatsku, Člansko-hrvatskog društva, number 1, broj 1. Bez toga ne bi bilo ni ovoga. Hrvatska je ovdje stvorena, pomogla je svim društvima u Melbourneu. Svi smo ovdje novce pravili i slali smo za Hrvatsku. Ja sam uvijek bio u crkvu, AHD, dom i Hrvatsku. Za moj pojam je najpošteniji od sviju Škota bio Jim Mackay. A od Hrvata Bili Vojtek. Kad je Bili Vojtek i Mackay otišli za Australiju igrat, mi smo tukli Elasa 5-2 i to se sjećam Kužleka, on je bio najbolji na terenu. Najveća moja je želja bila, dok ne umrem, da Hrvatska bude slobodna i da Hrvatska igra u Hrvatskoj i naši juniori da idu igrati. I ja sam išao s našim juniorima u Hrvatsku da igramo. Moje najljepše sjećanje kad smo izbacili Đasa iz nacionalne lige. Pa velim, eto, držao sam sve pozicije u hrvatskom klubu, od predsjednika, blagajnika, podpredsjednik sam bio 15 godina. Predsjednik socijalnog kluba. Sve sam pozicije u klubu imao. Član sam Hrvatske od 59. godine.
Kada ste došli u Australiju?
58.
Onda skoro samo malo manje godinu dana da ste član od uvijek.
Ja sam se vjenčao u kući gdje je stvorena Hrvatska.
U Leigh Street.
U Leigh Street broj 7.
Some great words there by a great man, and you can see what the club meant to him. I mean, not many people, I'm sure, would have been lucky enough to have been married in the house our great club was formed in.
Yeah, and some wise words there. You can also see the connection he made between Melbourne, Croatia, AHD, Dom, and the church. So pretty much the three pillars of our community that have been there from day dot, from when our parents and grandparents came to this country, and hopefully people like ourselves and those listening will continue and carry the torch forward.
Oh, look, without a doubt, some great words there by Torman. As you mentioned before, Smoliko was lucky enough to see him this year at the Destitravan celebration at the Dome and back at Melbourne, Croatia afterwards, where, especially Melbourne, Croatia, he had the honour of raising the flag and beginning the singing of the hymn in the morning. It's just come as a bit of a shock to everyone. Yeah, he wasn't exactly a spring chicken, but a staple around the club and someone who I'm sure will sorely be missed, not just by his family, but by all of us down at the at Melbourne, Croatia.
No, exactly right. And you can see the longevity, the length of membership, the positions he's held, has brought us to where we are today. So, like I said, we need to keep going forward, carrying on their legacy, and producing a legacy for those that have come after us.
Exactly right. And on that note, I think we'll move on to a bit of a junior recap from over the weekend. Now, juniors had a pretty good week of results here. Under 12s with a 1-1 draw. Under 12K and under 13s A both had buys. under 14s with a 4-0 loss to the Eltham Redbacks, under 15s with a 4-1 win over Goulburn Valley, under 16s with a 6-1 loss to Goulburn Valley, and the under 17s with a 5-3 win over the Eltham Redbacks. The Mini Roos, their second round kicked off this weekend. The under 8s had a 6-3 loss to the Bringbank Stallions. Under 10s, Ayden had a 10-2 win over West Point, and the under 10 Jack had a 7-4 win over Spring Hill Stallions, with the under 11s having a 5-3 win over Sunshine George Cross. So a pretty good set of results there from our juniors.
Yeah, I got to 3 junior games yesterday. That's pretty much the life I lead these days. So I went from Dobson Reserve for a 9 and 9:30 kickoff for the under 9s and under 12 girls, and then straight to Caroline Springs there for the George Cross game for the under 11s. And a big shout out, there's 2 names that popped up there, or the 2 teams. You've got Jack Govern coaching the under, well, is it 12?
Under 11s.
10s. One of the key organisers of the Knights Old Boys, the over 45s, and Bruno Zovko also coaching the under 12s Wallabies there, doing fantastic work with that team over many, many years. So everyone needs to understand that our coaches are very patient people. They put in a lot of hard work and the results will come. And as we can see this weekend, we had a fantastic, pretty much overall result for most of our teams. A couple lost there, but overall the performances are getting better and the development is better.
It always takes time, especially in junior football, to get things right. But I'm sure that everyone down there is doing a fantastic job, and the results will all come across the season, I'm sure.
Exactly right.
We'll just give the women a quick recap as well. Our Mini Roos girls had a 9-0 win over the weekend. Congratulations, girls. That's a great result. The under 12 girls with a 4-2 win over Westside Strikers, and the under 14 girls with a 2-1 win over St Albans Dynamo. Our senior reserves with a 5-all draw.
Wow.
Well done. That's
one went into a tiebreaker.
Into a tiebreaker afterwards.
That was the senior women, I think.
Oh, that was the seniors. Sorry. That was the seniors, and the reserves with an 11-0 loss. A bit of a tough result for the girls, but they had a pretty good result. Oh, they played pretty well last week, so I'm sure they'll bounce back at some point through the season.
Young team.
We do like to give the younger players a chance down at the Knights, and I'm sure that the results will come for the girls across the season. It will get better.
Exactly. Or young enough that George could be their grandfather almost. Is that how young they are?
What year were you born in, mate?
We'll talk about the tournament, that fantastic year the tournament was started, in a few minutes. But also, not that I like to single out particular people or kids, but the under 9s girls, young Kara Tsirnats, who played the first half in goals, came on in the second half, scored a hat-trick.
Oh, congratulations.
So Chris and Ilya need to be shouting this Friday night home game. We won't spend too much at Bob Jane. We'll wait till Friday night there. We'll hang around the foundation members. And in the under 12 girls, Zara Shilic, 4 years at the club, scored her first goal.
Oh, congratulations.
In that game. I think she actually scored 2, but that was her first goal in 4 years at the club, and obviously the daughter of club legend Mark Shilic, and he's doing great things also. He currently, so the girls train usually Tuesdays, Thursdays, 6 till 7, and then Mark takes them for an extra hour of training every Tuesday and Thursday for the last couple of weeks. So we're really seeing that improvement, that extra effort the club's putting into the girls' program, and the numbers are just growing, and they absolutely love it. You know, it's great to watch. You should have seen the parents and grandparents that were there yesterday. It was phenomenal. The atmosphere was electric.
Oh, well, I'm sure all the girls coming up through the ranks, you know, it can only mean good things for our senior women's football going forward.
Yeah. And the two coaches, you've got Mikhaila Jurcic coaching the under 9s, you've got Filomena Delic coaching the under 12s, and Tonya Kulchik assisting both. So we've got the senior girls involved in the junior program.
And you can't do anything but love to see that.
It's fantastic.
Fantastic. A quick recap of the around the grounds. Eastern Lions with a 1-all draw over Altona Magic. Port Melbourne with a 3-2 win over Oakley Cannons. Bit of a surprise result there.
Oh, not many people saw it coming, and many people saw it at all, because the second half dropped out on the stream. So the cameraman was basically filming from a stationary position while he was trying to fix whatever the technical issue was. So some of the goals were missed. I think it was limited to whoever braved the conditions and saw it in the flesh.
It must be someone from Hotel Quarantine organising the streams for this year, because that's happened a couple of times.
Maybe they got the jab and passed out halfway through. So,
Bentley Greens with a 3-2 win over Green Gully. Bentley seemed to be finding form again. Heidelberg with a 2-1 win over Dandenong Thunder. Avondale with a 3-0 win over St Albans. And this week's opponents, South Melbourne, with a 2-1 win over Hume City.
Dandy Thunder, who scored the goal for them?
Oh, I think we used to know him,
Yeah.
the bloke, yeah. Looks a bit
Wasn't
bald.
particularly well liked by my former co-host here on the Night Train. Or was the other way around? He didn't particularly like my co-host for some reason, but he was a bit of a cult figure around the club when he was there, Hamish Watson. But I was a bit shocked. I had Marco yelling from the other room saying Hamish Watson's playing on the Facebook stream. And I thought he was playing for Heidelberg. I had no idea. And then I looking at Heidelberg and they go, there's not too many chubby rangers on the in the front half there for Heidelberg.
Why was it that he didn't like the old co-host again?
Might have been something to do with a chubby comment or two.
But then he turned up in the Dandy Thunder and scored a goal. But unfortunately for them, they've gone down 2-1 there. So
Yeah, well, a bit unfortunately for them. But this week's opponent, South Melbourne, with another result. I don't know about the rest of you, but it's still a bit surprising to me where they're sitting on the table this year. They haven't really convinced me of much.
What are they? 20 points, 20 plus points
on the ladder wrap up. South Melbourne
22 points.
on top with.
There's been a key change in strategy for South Melbourne. It's gone from sub off Jerry Salatos after half an hour and blame everything on him to pass the ball to Jerry Salatos and hope for the best, which is a significant upgrade.
Oh, look, if we're talking in terms of a game plan, I mean, taking off your best players normally not the smartest thing your coach can do, but again, no one's ever accused the Greeks of being the smartest of people.
I'm not sure. I haven't really watched South Melbourne since Komblatsis was starring there in the back line and Steve Panopoulos taking his famous penalties and bringing his Brazilian wife to games. But other than that, look, they're due for a loss. Let's hope they're due for 2 losses, one in the Cup and one in the league. It'll be fantastic.
It'd be nice to give them 2 in a week. But just to give everyone a quick recap of the ladder positioning after the 10th round of games, South Melbourne on top on 22 points. Avondale sitting in second on 21. Heidelberg also on 21 points, sitting in third. Melbourne Knights sitting in fourth on 18 points. Bentley on 17 in fifth. Oakley rounding out the top 6 on 15 points. Hume City on 14 points in seventh. Port Melbourne on 12 points, sitting in 8th position. Green Gully sitting in 9th, also on 12 points, but with a slightly worse goal difference. Dandenong Thunder sitting in 10th on 11 points. Eastern Lions at 11th on 9 points. St Albans sitting in 12th position on 8 points, and rounding out the bottom 2, Altona Magic on 5. And last week's opponents, Dandenong City, sitting bottom on 4 points.
Well, the real action at Lakeside came before the South game, which is the charity match where Paddy Kisnorbo managed to do his ACL. No, it was his Achilles, sorry. So he's going to be out for a couple of games coaching Melbourne City in the A-League because he's done his Achilles.
Just as he was about to sign a youth contract at Western United, he's gone and done his Achilles. He's got another good 10 years left in him, I reckon, just like Scotty McDonald.
At least. The old A-League mill keeps returning at just some of the best.
Great to see. I can't get enough of it. It's
absolutely wonderful to watch.
Waiting for Aljoša Asanovic when he does make his return. He's waiting on his visa to be cleared so he can play for Perth Glory, apparently.
Were you one of the 990 in attendance the other week?
Oh, 990 people. I had more people at my wedding than that Western United to get to their games. But, when they played in Geelong, that was their excuse. Said homework. Tassie.
Was it Tassie?
No, this was at Amy Park, the 990. They did play a game in Tassie. They had more than that in Tassie.
It was a Monday night. The kids had homework. I was washing my hair.
Maths was on.
Maths, yeah. Well, the commentator from Maths was probably doing the stream.
He has been bouncing around the league a bit this year, hasn't he?
He has. Now, apparently the girlfriend that he had outside the show works at FNR, so I think I saw her wandering around the studio earlier.
Oh, guys, I'm just going to be announcing as well tonight. We do have our weekly quiz competition. This week it's going to be a little bit different. Now, some of you may or may not have seen these posters that Josh is going to get up on the stream for you now, in and around our wonderful city, just highlighting obviously the home game we've got against our old rival South Melbourne this Friday night. What we're going to be asking for is you to guess the location of the 3 pictures that will be posted up. Now, again, I will reiterate that we will be accepting calls on the talkback line as a priority, which is 9944 9999. But we will be accepting answers off the SMS line and through the comments on Facebook and YouTube. But a talkback caller will get priority.
So I'll chuck those images up now.
Yeah, Josh got the images scrolling through the screen now. So what we're
So
looking
that's number one.
That's number one.
Number two.
Number two.
Give you a quick look at that. And number three.
All right, so we've seen the three pictures. We'll chuck them up on the stream a bit later on as well to give everyone a bit of a refresher. But we're looking for three correct answers on where those are. And just to reiterate again, a talkback answer will be given the priority. And now we're opening up the soapbox as well tonight for your, in the comments, and if you want to call in or text in, for your favourite original Melbourne derby moment. What would be yours, boys?
Oh, geez. I can't go past. I was watching it again today. I think I've watched it about 50 times in the last 2 weeks. The 3-2 semi-final win in the rain at Olympic Park with 10 men. Danny Tiato getting red card. Maybe the last game at Middle Park before they bulldozed it and moved to Bob Jane. That was pretty eventful as well. Going back to Johnny Hassan's pub afterwards. And yeah, that was a good night. I'm just trying to think any others. I've never watched the grand final from 91, so that's one game I've never, ever played back. Not even the highlights, nothing. So I won't talk about that one. Yeah, but 95, I reckon, that semi-final in the rain. Franco Rock copping his serve from Mark Viduka.
George?
No, absolutely. Had to be that was a major semi-final or preliminary final. We won our way to the grand final by doing that. And, Duke's getting a nice hat-trick, and the image of him sliding on his knees and kissing the club crest is ingrained as a fantastic memory.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it. And I remember where I was like it was yesterday, actually. Not just in the grandstand, but I can see here, whether it's Rob or Rouge Mikulic is watching at the moment, I was on Rob's shoulders holding a blow-up inflatable crayon.
A crayon.
And a controversial flag of sorts that was attached to that particular crayon, but on his shoulders because he was a bit bigger than I was. But look at me now. Rob, eh? Look at this. Yeah, it was just outrageous. Outrageous game. And I think Buziana scored the 2 for Hellas as well that night. So he was another quite a talented, gifted player who maybe didn't reach his full potential. But
no, I was the team manager of the youth team at that time, and we were supposed to play our Victorian final that night. Obviously, because of the conditions, the game was called off. And, but the lasting memory is Teats sliding in on, I think it was Mickey P.
I hope it was.
Teats lasted about 10 minutes, and to win 3-2 in the manner that we did, and given what we achieved a week later, is fantastic.
Definitely. Well, look, unfortunately, I wasn't old enough to be at that game. I was probably about a year and a half old at the time. For me, there's two recent ones in memory that really stand out. The 2-1 win at Bob Jane, where you had Adam Zilic score and then proceed to do a lap around the athletics track to get to the coach's box. That was pretty memorable for me. And look, for me, a couple of years ago, beating Hellas at home with a bit of an undermanned side after a coaching change, Marian Svitvovic coming in as a caretaker coach to get the boys up against South Melbourne at home on a cold, blustery night at Summer Street really was something special.
Yeah, those games, they always produce something, regardless of where you are in the ladder, even though we're both now there on top, obviously, we're in fourth. You're expecting a good game, hopefully. If the points are an indicator of how we're going this year, both clubs are going pretty well. But regardless, if we were bottom, they were top, or vice versa.
Vice versa, it's always a fiery affair when we play the old rival.
Well, I would say the 2019 FFA Cup game as well, but I had ECP buy me so many shots of rakia in the social club afterwards, I don't really remember it. So.
Oh, look, our club is famous for a couple of things. Producing infamous Twitter trolls is definitely one of them. Now, look, we've got to give the Friday night fixture a bit of a recap. Bit of an interesting performance from both sides. Nights, I think, in the end, the quality shone through. The boys coming away with a 1-0 win to get the chocolates on the Friday night. I think Dandy probably came in with a pretty set game plan on trying to, especially in that first half, they executed it pretty well to try and sort of frustrate that midfield three and the midfield and the forwards in how they were playing the ball around. They set up in that sort of tight defensive unit looking to catch us on the counter, and I think through the first half the boys sort of struggled to break that down. We spent a lot of time in possession but didn't really look like creating an awful lot in the first half. A few tactical tweaks at half-time by Steve Berbich, and I think through the second half that quality sort of shone through. Boys created a couple of chances and then were just good enough to put one away, and I think once that goal sort of went in, the boys really found their feet, steadied on in the rest of the game, and played out not the prettiest of wins, but good 3 points at home.
Yeah, it wasn't a great footballing spectacle by any stretch, but speaking of ECP, I had a chat with him probably around half time, and he said he would swap 3 points against Dandy to get 2 wins against South Melbourne on Tuesday and on Friday. So he was happy to forego the 3 points on Friday night against Dandy City and take 2 wins against South Melbourne this week, but hasn't worked out that way. Hopefully it's not an omen and we lose both.
No, I'd be happier with 3 wins in 3, to be honest. But
South have been arsing it all season. Don't get me started on the karma of the whole thing. Yeah, I don't think we need to make bartering, deals with the footballing gods. I thought it was a bit of a nothing game. I mean, you look at the stats and Dandy City had way more shots, but a lot of those were really speculative and blocked efforts from outside the box. They tend to rack up the shots in all their games, but it's because they're not taking that many from really good positions, and that's why they haven't scored that much this season. I mean, they've been a bit unlucky as well, but I felt the Knights had control, just weren't quite opening up the defences they needed to, with Dandy sitting deep, as they are good at and they are disciplined, and took a bit of inspiration from Anthony Giselle in the middle of midfield to sort of pirouette and leave somebody in the dust, and then really nicely weighted through ball opened things up. One chance off the bench, 1 goal for Mr. Webb, and 3 points. I wouldn't say richly deserved, but I think that the Knights did just about enough.
Yeah, look, I think of the two, I think we're probably the better team. Probably deserve the win more, but again, these sort of ugly games, if you want to be playing, you want to be finishing in that sort of top 3, top 4 sides, they're the sort of games at home you've got to be winning. It doesn't really, at the end of the day, the fixtures don't show pictures, mate.
No, it's round 10 as well. So you've had a long pre-season, coming off COVID, 10 rounds in. People maybe start to get a little bit tired. The whole range of things. But yeah, speaking of Giselle, his vision on Friday night was particularly impressive. Probably the best I've seen this season, where he's barely having a look and he's putting balls into space where they need to be, and really impressed me on Friday night. But I saw Dandy throwing Topalovic up forward late in the game. I've seen that back in the old Županička Liga where I played, where a 43-year-old captain would go from sweeper to striker and try and poke in a goal, but I didn't think it would happen at NPL level. But good on them for trying, and we wish them all the very best for the remainder of the season. Hopefully they can dig themselves out from where they are now and get back into those places more mid-table and beyond.
Big shout out to the travelling contingent from Dandenong. They came in
definitely
very good numbers, and given what we've all endured with COVID last year and what have you, was probably for myself. I saw quite a lot of them for the first time since the Dandy tournament. But it was a beautiful night on Friday in terms of weather and conditions. The game probably wasn't the best, but it was fantastic to see a good turnout from our friends out in the southeastern suburbs.
Yeah, definitely. And there was a bus of Dandy supporters that had come in. They were amongst the last to leave the club. And we have a caller on the talkback line.
I think we do. They've been waiting patiently as well. So you're live on the air. Is this a talkback call for the competition?
No. Just my name's John. Just my favourite South Melbourne victories.
Oh, yeah? Go on.
The FFA Cup, really, that one does stand out. Certainly, the number one is the prelim back in 95. But there was another game, and I can't remember whether it was an Ampol Cup or a Buffalo Cup game. 4-0 we smashed South Melbourne. Do any of you remember that game? It was a night match.
Oh, mate, I was probably 10 years off being born, if I'm honest.
I don't know. If Peter Lormitz was in goals, I probably still remember, but anything before that.
Yeah, that's Ampol Cup. That's the late 70s, mid 80s.
Well, I'm 50, so I've seen it. I grew up at Olympic Park from the age of 5, 6 years of age. So
as did I. And I can't remember that specific game, but it was all about getting to Olympic Park early to wear an oversized Ampol T-shirt and become a ball boy in those days.
Yeah, definitely. I thankfully one day I was a ball boy one time. That was a highlight of my time watching Melbourne Croatia at Olympic Park. But it was a 4. I just can't remember. I can't remember the exact competition that was, but that's probably my best 3 results, and obviously the recent one, the FFA Cup, that was nuts, and hopefully we can do it again tomorrow night.
Did you jump on the big high jump mat that was there on the athletics track while you were a ball boy like I used to, or?
No, I can't. I know that I was down at the MCG end, not at the Yarra end. I was down at the other end. And that was it. I can't remember how old I was, but certainly that was a highlight of mine. But those games, the South Melbourne games, are always going to live. It is the original derby. I don't care what anyone says. The A-League it pales in significance to what we were able to achieve as a community base, and the two clubs have just the drivers behind Victorian football. That's for sure.
Very well said.
Very well said, mate. We appreciate the call, and I'm sure any time we win 4-0 over South Melbourne is going to be memorable, even if it's in a pre-season fixture.
That's it. Beating them at Tiddlywinks will be good enough for me.
Thanks for the call, mate.
All right, Borg.
Thanks,
Borg.
Oh, we've actually got another talkback caller.
Another talkback caller.
Yeah, the lines are popping off this evening. You've called the Night Train. You're on the air. We still got you there? Apparently not. No, they gave up. Too long wait times. This FNR thing. You got to stay on hold.
Well, look,
maybe they got turned off by our overseas call centre that answers them.
Maybe. In between calls now, we might just jump to had a quick chat with Steve Burbidge post the home game on Friday. Josh, we got that interview ready to go?
Yeah, so I do have it, in fact. All right. Well, we've got the talkback caller ringing again. They'll have to wait because we've got to hear from Steve Burbidge first.
Good evening, Knights fans. And we're joined by Coach Steve Burbidge post our 1-0 win over Dandenong City. Steve, what are your thoughts on the game?
Typical derby, very cagey, I thought. It was cagey definitely in that first 45, slightly opened up in that second. Some tackles were flying, a lot of yellows, there was a red as well, but all in all, I'm really, really happy with the boys' performance today. I thought it was a difficult game, and this game was never going to be easy. And we were patient with the ball, knocked it around, and finally we took that opportunity, so it was wrapped.
Yeah, look, mate, you could see the game plan really worked. The boys were knocking the ball around, especially in that second half, really nicely. Do you think that comes down to the game plan, or just how the boys, sort of put everything together on the night?
Oh, look, it's a bit of both. You go into these games with sort of a plan in place, and we felt after half time that a few things weren't working, and we had to sort of alter it in terms of some positioning and other things to address. And second half, I just felt we just took out. I thought first half we had the ball a lot, but we weren't creating enough.
Yeah.
Second half we started creating more, and it was just about tweaking a few little things, and the boys did that. And fortunately, we had some boys off the bench tonight who've done a fantastic job and made an impact. So, yeah, that was a real good performance.
Yeah, look, mate, I think that's one thing that stands out in this year as opposed to other years, the depth we've got coming off the bench. How are you feeling about just how the whole squad's working to go far through to this point of the season?
No, I'm wrapped. Every single one of them in that change room deserved it, and every single one of them I have full confidence in and full trust in to throw them in. We've got 20 odd players like that, 22 odd players like that. As a coach, it's a luxury to have, So tonight you've got a Webby off the bench, a Mo off the bench, a Trevor Z off the bench, a Lockie off the bench. They're players who can come in and actually make a difference. But if you don't have that competition, you can't achieve much. So very happy with that.
Now look, mate, obviously it's a massive week for the club, starting with the derby tonight and then the Old Foe twice in a matter of 3 or 4 days. How does everyone feel going into the next two fixtures?
Oh, look, I'm sure everyone. We haven't spoken about it too much, to be honest. We haven't spoken at all about it, but I think it's South Melbourne away, South Melbourne at home. There's no doubt they're our biggest rivals. So I don't think I'll have to motivate this bunch of boys this week. So I'm sure everyone will be up for it, and we just want to put in a performance what the supporters are happy with and make everyone proud again. And if we do that, I'm sure we'll have a good result. So.
Thanks for your time, Steve. Good evening, Knights fans. We're joined by Matthew Brice post our 1-0 win over Dandy City. What are your thoughts on the game, mate?
It wasn't one for the fans. The 3 points is all that matters in those kind of games, though. So we knew that at the start of the game. We knew that we weren't really going to come here, play open football and sort of thing. They kind of ruined the game a little bit with that, but it was always going to open up second half. We knew that. We had a game plan towards that, but we would have liked to have got ahead early, but we always knew it was coming. I think everyone did, but it was just about a matter of time, sort of thing. We didn't leave it as last week, but that's all right. We'll take it.
Oh, Knights fans pretty used to late drama, mate.
Yeah.
Look, I'll have to ask you about that goal last week, mate. What a strike!
What goal was that?
What?
Oh,
yeah.
No. To be fair, I got a few text messages I don't get during the week, but it was nice here. I wasn't going to play this year. It's been a long road, and the support staff, the coaches, they've all been great with me. Like, they've been patient. Fans have been patient with me. Like, obviously last year wasn't the best start from me as well, but like, that was my start. There's going to be definitely more to come, sort of thing. But yeah, I'm here to entertain. I'm a fans player, really, to be honest. Coach's nightmare, but fans player. So.
Oh, look, mate, we love to hear that. Massive week for the club with the 2 games against South Melbourne coming up.
Yeah.
How do you feel personally about the 2 fixtures?
I just want to take all the points and move on. I don't see South as that. I've listened to your show and stuff like that. That might be revving them up a bit, but I think they're winnable games, to be honest, and they probably look at it and they know that their ladder position is probably a bit false, to be honest. But hey, that's doubt in their head. We know where we are coming from, so we're going to win both games. Tactics behind it, we're winning both.
Mate, fans are absolutely going to love that, mate. Thanks for your time.
No worries. Right, cheers.
Thank you, mate.
We're winning both.
Fantastic words there by both our coach and Brice. He's been, I think, over the last couple of weeks, one of our better performers, Ric Flair.
Woo! The Derby, you heard what he said there. Oh, they might be listening. They're listening. They listen to every show we've ever done, even back when I was on it every week, mate. They listen to every word we say. They reckon we can't get enough of them. We've got some sort of a complex. Tuesday night. Cup night. Bring it. What's the weather? What's the weather tomorrow night?
Oh, 25 and raining, mate. It's about 25 mil of rain expected for tomorrow. But to be honest, look, tomorrow's massive, but the home game on Friday night is going to be something absolutely special.
Oh, I reckon we're going to win. I can feel it in my plums.
And, Josh, do we have that?
Yeah, we've got Adrian who's going to have a crack at the competition.
Adrian, welcome to the Nitro, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Ovak. Thank you. So the first location is Sunshine Library. The second one is just under the Ring Road off Fitzgerald Road near the Croatian Centre.
Yeah, that's 2 from 2.
And the last one is Victoria University on Ballarat Road.
And that's a treble, mate. We have a winner. Congratulations.
We just found the person that's been defacing the whole of Melbourne, I think.
I don't know. I find it a bit strange. If you're trying to market to South Melbourne supporters, why are you putting posters near libraries and universities? That's just outrageous.
Well, Adrian, well done, mate. You've won a double pass to the Derby at home on Friday night. So just get down to the club at the ticket box and we'll sort you out with two free tickets into the game on Friday, mate.
Beautiful.
I'll
see you there, boys.
Well, we've got you here. I'm going to hit you up for a bit of a score prediction for both games, the Cup game on Tuesday and the home game on Friday.
Ooh,
and if you don't say we're winning both, mate, you're getting dumped off the air.
No, I reckon tomorrow will be... I feel 3-1 tomorrow. I feel that they're going to score first and we're just going to bang 3 goals in and rub it in their face. And then on this Friday... I reckon 3-0 on the Friday. I reckon we're just going to show them the class at home. So, yeah, I'm confident in the team and in the boys. And, like you say, Zovac, we've got the best supporters in the league.
100% we do, mate. Best supporters, best club in the country.
Correct answer for both, mate.
Lovely. Beautiful.
Lovely. All right, Adrian, thanks for the call, mate. Just get yourself down to the club on Friday and we'll sort you out with those tickets for the game. And we'll hope to see you there.
No, sounds good, boys. Catches.
Thanks for your time, mate. So now, obviously, we'll give a quick pump up to the FFA Cup game tomorrow night, boys. Massive game for the club. Just in terms of, the qualification for the FFA Cup has become, one of the most sought after things in the world of NPL football over the last couple of years. And it's going to be an absolutely massive night for the club.
And if anyone that is listening that have kids in the juniors, junior training has been cancelled for tomorrow night in preparation for as many of us as can get down to Bob Jane to support the boys. So just a public service announcement, junior training cancelled tomorrow night so that everyone can get down to Bob Jane if they're in a position to do so and get behind the boys and hopefully get through to the next round.
You know what else has been cancelled? Is the Oakley Preston fixture. That's been postponed.
I did see something about that today.
I don't know, maybe Arky's making a few last-minute calls trying to get some reinforcements before before they play, but that one's freed up the schedule for everybody to go to the
That's right. We'll
Knights
take
game.
8,000 Preston fans to come support Melbourne Knights. It'll be fantastic.
That being said, normally when we do play Hellas, we do get a fair share of the donut makers coming down to back us in.
Yeah, no, there's a couple of boys that stand there where we stand, just near the juniors corporate box. They come and they're pretty good mates with Silla and come to most games. Not great fans of Altona, I can tell you that much. They don't particularly like they came to the Altona game. It's the first time I saw them and they've been coming ever since. But Preston's doing some pretty good things down there as well, and we'll see how that all pans out and whether or not they make their way back into the top flight.
Oh, look, it'd be good. I think a team like that would be very good to have up back in the league. I mean, just what they're doing in terms of the crowd numbers and that. And another, again, big club in terms of the history of Victorian football. And, you know, what some of my earliest memories was that first VPL fixture at Preston's ground. That was...
We were 2-0 up.
Yeah.
And I just popped out with Steve Okasovic behind the hill there, behind the goals. You can make up your own mind what you think we were doing there, but we were just ducking out after a couple too many beers, and by the time we come back, it was 2-2. And there's another story there of ending up in their social club, sitting down at the players' table and started eating the food before the players came. And Steve Cordial ended up becoming a de facto member of the Preston committee that night. He sat in on their emergency general meeting, and he was taken home by one of the Preston committee members and was given a big crate of red paprika in one of those polystyrene boxes. That is a true story. True story.
Is that the night that they changed their year of establishment as well?
Could well be.
Could well be. Oh, boys, I'll get a quick score prediction for you for the game on Tuesday night in the Cup. What are we thinking? Adrian on the phone's backed in a 3-1 win.
I reckon a close one, maybe a draw followed by some extra time where I think we should be able to get through. But they look like a big team. They're tall,
solid defensive unit.
So we'll see how we match up because, they might match up well against certain teams. But if we can sort of get around them with a bit of speed and quick passing like we saw in patches on Friday night and this season, I think maybe if it does go to extra time, it's going to be a late night. It's a school night. And that's all right. I think we'll get through.
George?
I think, given that what we've discussed, that famous semi-final win, and the conditions will probably be very similar. So I think it's all set for a 3-2 victory for us.
Oh, we could see Caleb Mikulic popping up and chipping the keeper a couple of times.
Oh, look, we would absolutely love to see that. And look, for me, Caleb's been one of our informed players this year. I'm backing him and the rest of the sort of front 3 or 4 that we're playing this year for a big performance on Friday. I'm going to back us in for a 3-1 win. I made a pretty good case over the phone, and I think that sort of, as we mentioned, they're a pretty big and solid defensive unit, but I think the pace of that, how quick our front 3 or 4 has played this year is going to be, I think, a little bit too much to handle. Like a bit of hot over for them on Tuesday night.
But we've had MJ Windsor earlier, so I'm just getting back to his message that he's sent through, talking about memorable games. Club legend Leon Burhic scoring the winner in 2003, if anyone can remember that one. I think we're wearing the old Joma tops, the body-hugging Joma tops. Leon Burhic popped up. I can't remember that one. I was either working on the bar at the Quarry Hill or under the bar at some stage. But Leon Burhic, blast from the past.
All right, guys, we're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by our live guest from Melbourne Knights. We've still got the Friday night game to discuss, and we've got our wrap-up from the tourney.
Are you looking to raise money for your community club or charitable organisation? Club Fundraising is an Australian family-run business, and we pride ourselves in creating partnerships with clubs, helping build stronger communities. Our free online platform provides everything you need for a successful campaign. With a step-by-step interface and best-in-class payment options, Club Fundraising makes it easy for clubs and contributors alike. Revolutionise the way you fundraise. Start your free campaign today. Head to clubfundraising.com.au. That's clubfundraising.com.au.
Buying your electronics electricity from the big energy companies is now the most expensive way to power your home. In fact, the average electricity bill in Australia has more than doubled in the last 15 years. But not for the ones who went solar. Unlike your electricity bill, the price of solar has actually come down, and there's also government rebates available. So what are you waiting for? Join the 2 million households already saving hundreds of dollars every year. See how much your roof could be making you at solarpowerco.com.au. Go solar and get $500 cash back with the Solar Power Co, Australia's most trusted solar brand. solarpowerco.com.au.
At WinnersBet, we don't just enjoy a punt, we live for it. WinnersBet is 100% Aussie owned, and we love all things racing. Up for a tote? Win and get the highest payout across the 3 national TAB totes for all winning bets on Australian gallops. And we'll pay out on both winners if your horse loses in a protest during any Australian gallop or harness. Support your local. WinnersBet. Go to winnersbet.com.au now. Gamble responsibly.
Roof racks, bull bars, camping gear, fridges, car care products. Have we got your attention? With over 20,000 products available online globally, Vehicle Accessories has every vehicle accessory you can think of and more. Conveniently browse through our catalogue by specific car model or overall category. Get up to 15% off store-wide by using the code FNR at checkout. Head to vehicle-accessories.com.au. That's vehicle-accessories.com.au.
The Night Train is brought to you by St Andrew's Hotel, 128 Nicholson Street, Fitzroy. Beautifully crafted, cosy and intimate spaces for your drinking and dining experiences.
And welcome back to the show, Knights fans. Now, once again, we are joined by someone on a live cross from our stadium. Joining us tonight is captain and central defender Ayden Brice. Bricey, welcome to the Night Train, mate.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Mate, absolutely brilliant start to the season from the boys to be sitting in the spot we're sitting after 10 rounds. I think everyone's pretty happy with the performances so far.
Of course, mate. I think what explains the good start of the year is I think the boys is enjoying the coaching stuff and they're enjoying training, they're enjoying the vibe in the sheds. I haven't been with a group that gets along with each other like this one on and off the pitch, so I think that's massive for the boys and how we're playing.
Yeah, look, mate, you've all been an absolute joy to watch. You as a captain, I think, have been instrumental to the start we've had this year. Talk us through what that's been like, you coming back and being given the armband.
Mate, it was very unexpected, actually. I know coming back to the club, I thought Nikola Jurkovic was going to put the captain's band on, and he said from the start, like if that was the case, then I'd obviously help him out. But vice versa, I got it, and Nikola's been nothing but the best to me and helping me out week in, week out. Making me a better player, better leader. And I think just the whole squad's full of leaders. So I think it just makes my job a lot easier. I'm relaxed. So I think that's why I'm playing decent footy as well. But to be captain of the Melbourne Knights, mate, it's massive. It's a big thing for me in my career. And hopefully they can keep me on for a couple more years, and hopefully I keep the band, and hopefully the results keep coming.
And it's Josh here, mate. I know your folks came down to watch a game. How did they enjoy the hospitality and the experience?
Yes, the Aussie Bogan family. They love coming down to the club, mate. They love the atmosphere. They love supporting me and the boys, and they love the beer garden. They love the chants. If they see me happy, they're happy. So yeah, if I keep being happy, then they're going to keep coming down and watching. And the more we keep winning, the more alcohol they're going to drink and the more bogan they're going to be, and put a spark up in the club.
Now, sometimes that's a good thing because bogan parents don't usually take their belts off and beat their kids at half time if they're not performing. So I'll take it.
Oh, mate, when your family don't know too much about soccer, then I think they're going to say you played all right even if you didn't play well, so it's good.
That's all right, because Zovac and Jure here don't know much about soccer either, so they're in good company.
Now, look, mate, you've enjoyed a pretty good start personally, I think, to the season yourself. What was the move back to Knights like after obviously the COVID shortened year last year?
Well, yeah, I had a little season last year of about, I think, 19 games all up, which was good for me and my fitness, and I got to have another year on the ball. And I think coming back here, I think not a step in front of people, but having played that year, and I was still quite fit. Halfway through the season at Edgeworth, my mindset was to come back to Melbourne. It was just about trying to get it done and get in contact with the right people.
Oh, look, mate, well, I'm sure most of the supporters are pretty happy we managed to get back in touch and bring you down, because you've been absolutely brilliant for us to this point through the year, mate.
Thanks, mate. It's been an honour putting the jersey back on, especially the captain's band, and it's been unreal winning. About time.
And it was a tough old affair on Friday night. It was a cagey match. It finally made the breakthrough late in the second half with some substitutes coming on and doing the damage. How did you see the game?
I thought the first half was exactly like Green Gully, to be honest. I thought they stretched just a little bit. They exposed the midfield a little bit. They had a bit more time in there compared to us. You can always say that we kept the ball a lot, but our possession wasn't effective as we didn't create no chances through the first half. But we went back in, we readjusted at half time, and we changed our game plan to not suit theirs because they wanted to keep us compact. So we tried to stretch them wide so it opened up their defence and so we could play through the middle. And I think we got a lot of joy through the second half doing that. And obviously we got the goal and then we held on for the win. And, mate, it was about time we got 3 points again, and hopefully we just keep rolling on and picking up the best results we can and play consistent footy.
Yeah, look, mate, it's good to see. I think everyone, even the ones who don't come week in, week out, can really see how together that changing room is this year. You all seem to get along really well on and off the pitch from what we can all see. How does that sort of help you on the pitch when the change room gets along as well as you guys all do?
Mate, it's a brotherhood. We call everyone brothers in our squad, and I'll do anything for any of them players on and off the pitch, and they do the exact same for me. And I think just having that connection, everyone's just willing to fight for everyone, no matter what. So I think that's playing a massive part on how we're performing throughout the year.
So speaking of closeness with your teammates, when you look across the change room, who's your usual designated driver? Who's the bloke that stays up latest? And who's the one that the moths and spiders come out of their wallet when you're out having a couple of drinks?
Is Bebs viewing this stream, or because I probably don't want to throw a couple of the boys under the bus, maybe. But if he's not viewing, I can chuck a couple of names in. But I think all the boys are pretty well behaved. They know their limits, so yeah.
Look, mate, so obviously we've got a couple of massive games coming up this week. How are you personally feeling coming into both the FFA Cup game on Tuesday night and the home derby against South Melbourne?
Coming into the FFA Cup game, I'm feeling quite confident. I'm feeling quite fit. I know we had a massive slog Friday night, but the boys recovered well. We had a little hit out tonight just to get the blood flowing, and all the boys are starting to move around quite well. So I think I'm feeling good, and I know the boys are feeling good towards tomorrow night, and then I'll know Wednesday on how the boys are going to be feeling for Friday. Yeah. But we always G up for South Melbourne, and it's just that hatred there, you can sort of say, and the boys and the crowd, if they get behind us, it's going to lift the boys up. And I know no matter what, if the boys are sore or anything, the crowd can really put the boys' energies back to 100%, and we'll keep fighting.
Well, No doubt there'll be a massive contingent of Knights fans in attendance on Tuesday night. Have you had a chance to watch any of what South have been doing this season and what's in your way?
I had a little overview of them tonight on how they played in a couple of previous matches, on how they build up and how they react to a loose ball. And I think Bebs and Diogs will go through and set us up to the best structure that we can to stop some of their key players and not just focus on their key players, because obviously they're on top of the league for a reason, because they're quite good across the park. So I think if the boys switch on, do the roles that we get told to do, and defend well and be ruthless in attack, I think we'll be right.
I think the main trouble is staying awake, trying to watch them. So the fans might be susceptible to that. I think the boys will be locked in though.
Bring the no-dos.
Have the Red Bulls before the game. You should be able to keep concentrated.
100% they will, mate.
Oh, look, mate, speaking of training, word coming out of Summer Street tonight, it was absolutely pelting cats and dogs from what I hear down your way.
Oh, mate, the pitch, it was a little bit sloshy and very wet, very cold, but got a nice little quick session in, got the blood flowing through the legs, and despite the weather, the boys still put in 100%, but yeah, it was sloshy. It was very sloshy, mate. All the boys' boots are filled with water, so I think they'll be on the girlfriend's hair dryers tonight and drying them out for the moment. So
I don't know, mate. I've seen a few of the haircuts in the change room. They're telling you that's their girlfriend's hair dryers.
Oh, mate, yeah, especially Gianno Barno, mate. I don't know what he's using.
He uses his hairdryer as a microwave, I've heard as well. So
I thought that was his iron. Look, Bricey, thanks for your time, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure to have on the show. Best of luck to you and everyone in the change room on the upcoming 2 games this week. I'm sure you and all the boys are going to do the club nothing but proud.
Thanks, boys, mate. Can't wait for you to come down and support Tuesday and Friday, and hopefully we do you proud.
No, I'm sure you all will. Thanks for your time, Ayden. And that was Ayden Brice joining us tonight. Now, just to switch things up a bit, we've got a tournament announcement. You're there.
We do, and we're going to get someone on the line as part of this announcement.
So we'll take a quick break.
We're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll have the tournament announcement from Jure.
Are you looking to raise money for your community club or charitable organisation? Club fundraising is an Australian family-run business, and we pride ourselves in creating partnerships with clubs, helping build stronger communities. Our free online platform provides everything you need for a successful campaign. With a step-by-step interface and best-in-class payment options, Club Fundraising makes it easy for clubs and contributors alike. Revolutionise the way you fundraise. Start your free campaign today. Head to clubfundraising.com.au. That's clubfundraising.com.au.
WinnersBet, we don't just enjoy a punt, we live for it. WinnersBet is 100% Aussie owned, and we love all things racing. Up for a tote? Win and get the highest payout across the 3 national TAB totes for all winning bets on Australian gallops. And we'll pay out on both winners if your horse loses in a protest during any Australian gallop or harness. Support your local. WinnersBet. Go to winnersbet.com.au now. Gamble responsibly.
Buying your electricity from the big energy companies is now the most expensive way to power your home. In fact, the average electricity bill in Australia has more than doubled in the last 15 years. But not for the ones who went solar. Unlike your electricity bill, the price of solar has actually come down, and there's also government rebates available. So what are you waiting for? Join the 2 million households already saving hundreds of dollars every year. See how much your roof could be making you at solarpowerco.com.au. Go solar and get $500 cash back with the Solar Power Co, Australia's most trusted solar brand. solarpowerco.com.au.
The Night Train is brought to you by St Andrew's Hotel, 128 Nicholson Street, Fitzroy. Beautifully crafted, cosy and intimate spaces for your drinking and dining experiences.
And welcome back to the show, Knights fans. Now, a bit of big tournament news coming out from the Sarves as of today. Jure, what's the update, my friend?
I think half our community out there knows what we're talking about, but for the half that don't, firstly I'd like to thank formally Melbourne Knights President Parva and his committee and the Night Train again for once again generously providing the Sarves with a platform to be able to communicate to all Melbourne Knights fans and the greater Sarves community directly. So get that important acknowledgement out the way. So I know that there's been a little bit on Facebook as well, so I'll take this opportunity to basically inform everyone, and we'll get the President of North Geelong on the line very shortly to give you an overview of where we're at in terms of this year's tournament. So essentially over the last 18 months, the Sarves board together with North Geelong, Croatia, have tirelessly worked to try to bring to life the keenly anticipated 2021 tournament. Within the complexities that COVID-19 has presented, especially those regulations that exist here in Victoria. So in short, this very strict regulatory framework within our state and the ongoing prospect of snap changes throughout the nation, as was recently witnessed in WA, we've deemed it's basically made it impossible for North to host the tournament as it had originally contemplated and as all of our member clubs and tournament visitors would expect. To start properly preparing for the tournament now, the only available option to North Geelong and the Sarves was to agree on capping teams and possibly eliminating some competition divisions. But given the progress made by our tournament over so many years, the Sarves, with the full support of North Geelong, we determined a week ago, or about 10 days ago now, that any tournament proposal which did not represent being a fully inclusive tournament was not appropriate and could not be endorsed as an official tournament. So as a result, last weekend, we began investigating every possible option available to us to keep this year's proposed tournament in Victoria. Those options included North Geelong's possible collaboration with other Melbourne-based Sarves clubs to support the delivery of at least part of the football component of the tournament. And also we investigated the possible relocation of different parts of the tournament to a venue that could more readily and safely operate within these very strict Victorian State Government COVID-19 framework that is in place for public events. And our tournament represents being a cultural festival and therefore a public event. But unfortunately, every option that we explored was deemed not to be workable. So I think we've got John on the line now. So John, thanks for making yourself available. From a North Geelong president perspective, if you could provide an overview on your club's behalf on the challenges that collectively we've faced and how it came to this rather unfortunately inevitable position at the end of the day.
Yeah, thanks, Jure. Firstly, I've had a cold for 72 hours, so apologies for the croaky voice. My wife says I've got the man flu, so I'll see how I get through this. But also apologies for jumping the gun on the announcement earlier. We had a social media team probably wasn't in tune with the importance of synchronising timing on this, and they had things to do and launched it and ran off. So apologies for that. We'd hope to align any public comments with this program so that we gave everybody the requisite notice, or those people that needed to know had the courtesy of knowing at the right time. So apologies to the Sarves for that. But I think you would have summed it up really well. Is we agreed with the Sarves from the outset that the number one priority was making sure the tournament could go ahead, but not only proceed in some way, shape or form, but proceed at the optimal level. So much work has gone into the tournament over so many years to achieve a certain level of community engagement, and we were committed to making sure that happened again. Last year, obviously, it was impossible. This year, we'd hoped to stage the tournament in Geelong as planned, but when the various frameworks were rolled out, it really meant it was impossible to achieve the scale of the pre-existing tournaments within Geelong, both at Elko Park, our home ground, where there's 3, full-size pitches. We couldn't accommodate the amount of games on those pitches. Across the Geelong area, there wasn't a single facility that could, absorb the number of games we needed over a 4-day period. As you would have said, we then got to work with the Sarves feverishly on looking at other potential clubs to partner with us, and that was just impossible on this short notice. More broadly, the sort of the technical aspect of it is because it would have had to have been across 2 or more venues, it imposed far more onerous conditions on the club to be able to put on that event. And the sort of conditions that are attached just make it impossible for a volunteer organisation to activate the tournament as we know it and love it. So with that in mind, we worked with Jure and his team to find whatever solution we could to keep the tournament going in 2011. The main reason for that was, we all missed each other's company for so long, and it was just critical. We felt that the tournament get staged and give everybody a chance to come together again. And thankfully, and you can speak to this, Jure, in more depth, one of our sister clubs up north put their hand up and came in to save the day. So, that happened with our absolute blessing and our support for the reasons that I've advised. And, thanks to the Sarves for working so hard. Thanks to the people at North Geelong, the volunteers for working as hard as they did to try and make it happen. But I think ultimately we've made, collectively a decision in the best interest of not just the tournament, but also the broader pro community in Australia. So, Jure, if you wanted to speak to that a bit, I'll throw it over to you.
Not a problem. Well, thanks, John. And as a segue, we thank you for your time, and publicly I'd like to thank and acknowledge North Geelong Warriors, North Geelong Croatia, for their understanding and the acceptance of the rather hard position we had to take in our most recent discussions with them. And as John indicated, their full 100% support in us looking to identify a potential tournament host for 2021. So thanks again, John, and good luck to all the North Geelong teams for the rest of the season.
No, thanks a lot, guys, and thanks again for just again on behalf of the club, a real thank you to the Sarves for all their hard work and really trying to do everything that we could to try and find a solution. But I think we've landed in the right place.
Thanks again, John.
Thanks, guys.
So whilst we get a second person on the line, essentially, that's the background as to the challenges that we faced in not just having the tournament in Geelong, but having it in Victoria, essentially. It's all to do with the footprint available and the amount of people you can get on a footprint. And in our case, all our players are counted as patrons, and so they have to be included in the number of people that you can have at a site. And John alluded to it, but as soon as you've got a multi-site function, then there is also COVID restrictions between people moving between one site and the other, believe it or not. So these guidelines, it's crazy. You can get 80,000 people at the MCG. We had well over 1,000 people on Friday, and it's not an issue. But for public events, there is many challenges, and unfortunately they posed a obstacle too hard and too high for us to be able to navigate in Victoria. So what happened essentially is with the support of North Geelong, we, the Sarves, early last week, so we are Monday, we're talking about last Monday, literally 7 days ago, began investigating whether one of our member clubs from outside of Victoria could possibly be interested in and capable of hosting this year's tournament at what is a relatively short notice. We're talking about 4 months. It's important to note that had we not been able to identify such a club outside Victoria, we would have been left with no other option than to once again, unfortunately, cancel this year's event. And after literally first engaging with them last Wednesday evening, I'm delighted to inform our Sarves community that the Gold Coast Croatia, the Gold Coast Knights, together with the Gold Coast Croatian Club, have over the weekend generously offered to again host our tournament later this year, an offer that was formally ratified by the Sarves board at about 10 o'clock last night. So that's how fresh off the press it is. And as a result, it's with great pride and excitement we're now able to confirm that this year's tourney will definitely be going ahead. It'll be held on the Gold Coast between Thursday, the September 30th and Sunday, October 3rd. And I'd like to take this opportunity now to get Adrian Puljic, the president of the Gold Coast Knights, and also a fellow Sabres committee member on the line. Adrian, are you there?
Yeah, hi, you're there, boys. Thanks very much for having me on the show.
Thank you for making yourself available. So you've heard the context, you've heard John and what have you. So it would be fantastic to hear from yourself in terms of your club's reason or motivation for this decision and the onerous task that you've taken on, and what your club and community hopefully will be able to offer by way of a tournament later this year. Obviously, we're not going to go into micro detail because we haven't got there yet, but Adrian will give an overview again about his club's motivation and also what we can expect from another tourney on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, thanks, Jure. Look, firstly to John and the organising committee of North Geelong and to the greater North Geelong Croatian community, it's always a difficult position, and pretty much a position we haven't found ourselves in previously. So to get John's blessing earlier in the piece was, I guess, a mandatory requirement for the Gold Coast community, and obviously the ability for the Sabres to find alternative options in Victoria and obviously abroad as well. To see who could step up to the plate. We met as a joint committee with the Croatian club on the Sunday to formally ratify our position.
As in yesterday.
Yeah, to basically make sure that we checked off those prerequisites with Geelong, that we checked it off with Football Queensland, that we checked it off with the Sabres, to make sure that there was no alternative option, and if there wasn't going to be a tournament, then Gold Coast would step up. So we're pleased to advise the listeners of the Night Train and obviously the broader Croatian community here in Australia and in NZ that wheels are in motion. A tourney committee has been set up already. We're in the final throes of working on logos and I guess plans for hosting the tournament. We have the benefit of being recent hosts back in 2018. So all I can say is, we intend to deliver a full tournament, one which we're all accustomed to and have experienced in years gone by. And the Gold Coast Croatian community is very much excited, and we have the support of our community to deliver something and welcome family and friends and our sister clubs up to the Gold Coast later in the year.
Thank you, and excuse me, very well said. And as people can appreciate, this represents very early days, but given your club and your community's recent experience in hosting what probably was the largest and best attended tournament over those 4 days, people can know what to expect. It's important not to put any sort of measures in place, but I dare say, speaking to you last night, that you guys are going to try to make it as big and as inclusive as our community probably has come to expect from the Gold Coast.
Yeah, and we're acutely aware that Queensland's not immune to COVID. We have an erratic leader as well that can shut borders quickly. But I think history shows here in Queensland that when there has been issues, particularly in the last few outbreaks, we've responded quite well as a state and gone back to normal quite quickly. So our COVID, I guess, regulations are not as onerous as what it is in Victoria. So it is our intention to run a tournament on a full scale. It is a risk for us, but it's an opportunity. So with risks come opportunities, and this is an opportunity for us to deliver something quite unique and special in a 4-month time period. We're confident we can achieve it, and we believe that for this tournament to go ahead is massive for our community and for our clubs to be able to get together, which we haven't been able to do so in coming up to 2 years.
Absolutely. So thank you once again. So just before we sign off with Adrian, I just want to take this opportunity so it's completely transparent. The last few days have been extremely hectic, the last 10 days essentially, from a Sabres perspective. But the Sarvers board will now immediately begin working with the Gold Coast Knights in formalising many of the in-principle agreements regarding event permits, local government approvals, venue bookings, Football Queensland sanctioning, liquor licensing and the whole lot, all of which somehow was able to be achieved by Adrian in less than a 48-hour period in terms of getting in-principle agreements. So on behalf of the whole community, we thank you and your club for stepping up. And I want to reiterate as well, take this opportunity that the Sarvers, North Geelong and Gold Coast Knights all share the same view that it's vitally important that our Sarvers and our nationwide Croatian community, that this year's tournament proceeds as a fully inclusive one. That was the full stop, the tochka that unfortunately led to us not being able to have one in Victoria, but we are confident, and as the months go past, this whole COVID situation will no doubt continue to ease, and we look forward to seeing everyone on the Gold Coast. So, Adrian, thanks again for your club's generous offer in saving this year's tournament, and your community's pledge to try to make the tournament in 4 months as big and as memorable as your massively successful 2018 tournament was.
Thanks, Jure, and obviously to all of the clubs out there and friends and families of the players. We hope you all make your way up to the Gold Coast. Gold Coast is looking forward to putting on a show. We want the tournament to be memorable. We understand the gravity of what this tournament means to us as a community, and we want to make sure that we protect the legacy that this tournament now holds. And look, we will also have a nod to Geelong as the tournament goes on. We definitely understand their pain. It is unprecedented, the situation, and we definitely want to honour Geelong because their community's had 2 years worth of planning for essentially nothing in the end, and we want to make sure that it's not in vain.
Thanks again, Adrian, and look forward to talking to you shortly.
Thank you. Thanks, Jure. Thanks, boys.
Thanks, Josh, for setting all that up. So just to finish, and this is more of a message directed to our 28 clubs across Australia and the boys and girls over in Auckland. What we need now is for your club to do everything it can to come to the Gold Coast with the number of teams that you all indicated you intended to register during the recent tournament survey response. So as soon as the Sarvers is able to confirm the formal approval of all the legal requirements that we are getting started on, we'll inform your club and we'll provide you further details of the tournament as soon as they are finalised. We anticipate that all documents regarding club and team registrations for this year's tourney will be sent to you within the next week or so, with a view to these forms needing to be completed and sent back to us by June the 30th. We take this opportunity to strongly encourage all our clubs, their members, their supporters to attend the tournament in large team numbers to support Gold Coast Knights' generous gesture. And basically, jump on the web, start looking for your accommodation, make the most of these cheap flights, and start booking your clubs and family holidays to coincide with the school holidays. Get up to the Gold Coast.
And look, I know Flight Centre do listen into the show, so I'm sure that airfare prices, as Jure has just mentioned, the dates are going to go through the roof. So get on there as early as you can. Gold Coast, from previous memory, always put on a good tourney. My first one was there in 2012. Done an absolutely fantastic job, and it was a cracking weekend. And once again, a big thank you to Adrian and the whole Poolage family for coming to the table, and the rest of the committee down at Gold Coast for being able to make this work.
Living Gems, fine sponsors of our club.
And again, Living Gems, thank you especially for that as a sponsor of the club. The tournament for me is a fixture of the Croatian calendar for the year. It's something you always look forward to. Great way to meet people, and some of my good friends have been met at a various amount of these tournaments over the last 10 years or so.
I'm already there, mate. I am already there. But the Gold Coast in general, the community, what they are doing up there is phenomenal.
It's amazing.
It is. I believe they've also had a lot to do with the resurgence of Brisbane Knights as well.
Yeah, they've taken over, I've got to get this right, I think it's the Magic Group, hopefully I got it right, which is basically the football department of Gold Coast Knights, headed by Adam Porridge. They have taken over the football management side of things at the Brisbane Knights, so revive them. And when you consider that Gold Coast Knights were second division Gold Coast State League team 5 years ago, and as recently as 2 years ago were Queensland NPL champions, and currently sitting second, I think, in the Queensland NPL again.
Yeah.
And there is a good chance, if everything works out, that the Saturday night of the tourney will coincide with a home final if they finish top two. So it would be fantastic, similar to 2013 here in Melbourne when we played South Melbourne. Unfortunately, lost that night.
Yeah, look.
But to have a tourney crowd, 4,000 people cheering on the Gold Coast Knights on the Saturday night of the tournament prior to gala and disco and what have you would be a fantastic thing. So fingers crossed. But yeah, fantastic what Adrian and the whole Puljic family, their contribution to the Croatian community up on the Gold Coast. And that Gold Coast community, it's a very small one, but a very passionate one. And like I said, to take on this task at relatively short notice, we should all be grateful and thankful and repay them by our attendance in strong numbers.
Are those prescription aviators, they're small? Or?
They're ready. They're UV polarised, ready to go. Dirty dogs from the local servo. But
Tony's asked on the Facebook Live if that's Kojak on our screen.
Someone, Pitbull, mate, Pitbull. But
international love.
But what a well-spoken young man.
Yeah.
Also, John earlier, very well-spoken man. We had Ayden Brice, even though he's not a Croat, let's say, but what a fantastically well-spoken young man. These people are ambassadors for our community, wherever they go. Captain, lawyer, property developer, etc. There are some fantastic people in the community doing great things, putting back into the community that they've obviously organically grown from, and it's good to see, and we encourage anybody else, even if you've been burnt in the past, I know we can burn out, get involved, whether it's at a junior level, senior level, part-time, anything, providing your guidance even, a little bit of advocacy on behalf of the community. We're always looking for that, and it's great to see people like that stepping in. The cooperation between clubs, which sometimes we feel may not be there, but we're seeing it across the board here in a very dire situation, and it's great to see.
And let me just again, before I finish, we're coming close to the end probably, I want to again thank the Melbourne Knights and the Night Train for generously again providing the Savas with a platform to speak. And I want to remind everyone that the Knights are playing South Melbourne. Big game tomorrow. It would be fantastic if all our amateur teams across the state, if they could, like the Knights juniors, cancel their trainings and get out in big numbers and support Melbourne Knights tomorrow. But I also strongly encourage everyone, regardless of their affiliation that anyone has with the Savas member club, either inside Victoria or outside, to keep supporting the Knights and Melbourne Croatia by extension by becoming a member. This club is the largest, most prominent, most successful, and probably the most important club that has always supported other Croatian soccer clubs and Croatian community organisations. So attending Knights matches and functions that Melbourne Croatia and Melbourne Knights Football Club continue to put on for our community, such as Croctoberfest and concerts, need to be supported by our greater community. So we look forward to a decent crowd tomorrow, but an even bigger one, regardless of the result tomorrow on Friday night.
Now, you're there. Just another quick question about the tournament while we do have you on. One of the most popular comments across the history of the Night Train has been in reference to how long Tom Lukic has kept his job. What's going on there, mate? When's Tank getting the sack?
Hopefully a lot later than I do. So no, Tom's good. Tom's good. A quiet achiever, very meticulous and everything, and it's he's a fantastic resource to have. Aunt and I were speaking about him not too recently about at a split match, so we might have to get some. I don't know, some potential partners for him on the Gold Coast and what have you. But I know Pashko has a dig at him. But no, and listen, anyone that is involved in a committee, be it at a soccer club, regardless of their size, everyone does it with the best intentions. No one gets paid. It's a labour of love, and unfortunately, there's never enough people. So.
No, that's true.
So, again, to the people that are doing something for their clubs, well done, keep going. And for those that don't, support them. And like I said, holistically, support your club and may your club support this year's tournament.
Definitely great words there, Jure. Now, talking about the game on Friday night, we've got a bit of a derby preview that Dan and the media team down at the Knights has put together. So, Josh, have we got that ready to go, mate?
We do indeed.
You know, this is not just any match. It's the match. Forget about all those other derbies. This is the derby, the original Melbourne derby. This rivalry has existed before your time here and even my time here, and will stay that way for time to come. So remember, this is our home, and when you're out there tonight, don't let them forget that.
Don't worry, Dad. We've got this.
From Brice.
It's a fantastic story too. I don't know how many father-sons there would be at our level of competition and what have you, but obviously what Stabber was able to achieve over a long period of time and captaining the club in its greatest successes, and now to have Jack coming through, it's fantastic. Yeah.
No sound.
No.
I fixed it. Don't worry. Sorry about that.
We're back on.
We're back on?
We're back. We're back.
We're back. So, yeah, just speaking on Stabber, obviously, like Jure was just saying, to have a father and son to have played at this sort of a level for the same club. You know, Jack, I think, for me, he's come on in leaps and bounds this season. He's been one of our probably biggest improvers from the start of the season for me.
He's currently my dad's favourite. So from all the games that he's been to, at least the home games that I take him along to, he's by far young Mart, bloody, good, strong, tough, like his father.
And like I said, it's unusual, and we've had quite a few just in the last couple of years. So Chris and Mark Talach, Paul Jurcic and Luke and Nick both played at the Knights, and obviously Jack and Andrew. So
Giselle as well.
And well, there's probably a lot more than what I can even remember, but and I know it's probably something very unique to us. I can't. At the MPL level, I don't think that there is too many father-son combinations.
No, something's come through here on the messages saying there's a really big resemblance between Ayden, Brice and myself. So is there something there that someone's not telling us? I don't know. He's a very good-looking man, and I know people assume that I'd be his dad, but no, I'm not his dad. His parents have been down to the ground. Another father-son. You've got Anthony Smolik playing the over 45s now, being coached by Jack Governor and Bruno Zovko, and young Marco Smolik in the under 11 Kangaroos.
Okay,
that's one of the big.
That's a long bow to draw, mate.
Oh, those are very big sunglasses, mate. I think that's why the Ayden Brice comparison has come up. They can't see half your face.
Now, well, look, Jack to be playing. Jack, if he gets a chance to play on Friday, I'm sure will do the club proud and himself proud. He's been a consistent performer, but I'm backing the boys in for a good performance again on Friday night at home. I think especially this year, we had that little blip against Heidelberg, but for me, I think our home form's been pretty solid. There's not too many teams that are really going to be able to play with us on our ground. Against South, I think they might try, especially after we beat them on Tuesday for the Friday game. They're going to try and set up a bit more defensively than they will on the Tuesday night. So I think it's going to be a sort of a similar affair to the Dandy game, especially in that first half. But
mate, they play defensively no matter what. I think they're going to dig in. I'm anticipating, and this may not be a popular prediction, but I'm anticipating this one to go to extra time. I think the Knights will edge it. I think better goalkeeper, better attacking options, just about get it done. But away from home, I think that first game is going to be really tough in the Cup. I'm expecting it to go the distance. And then once the Knights have broken South's spirits with the crushing, dramatic last-minute winner in extra time, and I think Friday will roll over them 3-0.
Yeah, I think they were a little bit despondent. They were going to be a really attacking team when Roberto Carlos was going to be their coach, and they got that A-League licence. But unfortunately, they're now parking the bus in the MPL. So
Well, rumours had it they put their hat in the ring for the European Super League, but that lasted about as long as one of their A-League bids.
Well, then we can expect a pitch invasion tomorrow night then if that's the case. And
well, there might be one given how soggy their gyros comes out these days, mate.
Slap.
I've had wet cardboard with a bit more flavour. Like, I'm serious. It's gone so far downhill in the last couple of years. Bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
James Baxter on the comments coming in. South setting up with an 8-1-1 formation tomorrow night and a 9-0-1 on Friday night.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Sounds about right. I'd be tipping, but look, I'm backing us in for the win on Friday as well. I think the boys will come in with a solid 2-0 win at home. I could see us keeping a clean sheet. And I think we're going to see a big shift, especially from that midfield unit with Brice, McGarry, Giselle, and the like. I think they're going to run South, absolutely run right on South on Friday night at home.
Fingers crossed, mate. Is tvoja usta u Božje uši, as we say.
As they say. Your score prediction for Friday, mate?
I think a lot will depend on what happens tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So let me hold judgment on that one. But I agree with Josh, and I think Auntie mentioned it as well. I can see tomorrow going into extra time and us nudging it. And, well, if I'm saying that, then I think we're better chance, better than 50-50 to take home the chocolates on Friday should we come away with a win tomorrow. So I know there's a lot of people finishing work relatively early and meeting in different pubs and what have you around South Melbourne. So once again, we encourage everyone to come out in number and to support the boys tomorrow night.
Make sure you message me. I don't know where any of these pubs haven't been told anything. I don't know if that's a message that no one wants me to.
That is a message, mate. That's a message,
That's
mate.
a message.
One-man pub.
Look, I'm sure the messages are going to be flying around. But something new for the Night Train this week. We've got a new segment premiering from Friday night. Josh, have we got that ready to go?
Oh, we absolutely do.
A bit of Sam Newman-inspired street talk happening in the beer garden on Friday.
I actually witnessed a few of these things and hope there's some subtitles because...
That's very, very dangerous.
Yeah. Good evening, Knights fans. Joining me on Beer Garden Banter. Who do we have here?
Amelia Dragovic.
Amelia Dragovic. Do you play for Knights at all, Amelia?
I do for the women's reserves.
Women's reserves, captain or something like that?
Captain Drags.
Captain Drags. At least one Dragovic got to captain the club with some respect. What do you reckon about the game tonight?
We'll take the point. Why not? With 3 points.
Points even. Points
Yes,
even.
I should say, yes.
How do you think we're going overall this season?
Well, we didn't draw for the first time, so
Yeah.
it's a good start.
How do you think the boys are going to go overall?
Hopefully we'll do well. I have a good feeling.
Good feeling. How do you reckon we're going to? How much do you reckon we're going to beat Hellas by on Tuesday?
2-0.
2-0. Bang! You've heard it here first. 2-0 result. Come down to the game on Tuesday, guys. So who we got here?
Big Steve, mate.
Big Steve. What do you reckon on the game tonight, mate?
It was terrible, actually, but we got the 1-0 game, 1-0 win. Could have done a bit better, I reckon, but both teams won. Croatia won. That's the main thing.
Oh, look, man, biggest question on every Knights fan's lips. What was worse, the game tonight or your Charape?
Big call. Mate, I killed with the Charape rolls. No, it was my Charape, 100%. Terrible.
Thanks for joining us, mate. Dobro večer, dragi gosti. Imamo tu Joško. Šta misliš od utakmicu večeras?
Dobro je, ali loša je utakmica bila, ali rezultat dobro je. 3 boda su 3 boda.
To nosimo barem 3 pointa kući. A šta misliš ti ti ovo tražiš za nas, ovaj pić? Kako misliš?
Šta ću misliti?
Look, mate, the bloke loves the grass. It is what it is. So who we got here?
Who do you want me to be?
I think it's John Sigurd. Mate, what do you reckon on the game tonight?
I thought we were the better side, and the main thing, 3 points in the bag.
Quality shone through in the end. What are your thoughts on the Hellas game this week, mate? How many we winning by?
It's going to be awesome. This is what we live for as supporters. I think Tuesday night and next Friday night, Melbourne, South Melbourne.
Who have we got joining us tonight?
We got a snapper from Daddy City.
What are your thoughts on the game tonight, mate?
It was a very dull game. I believe that Daddy City had it in the early stages of the game. We should have won the game, but we gave it up at the end. But what do you do, mate? That's why it goes.
That's the way it goes. How do you think you guys have gone so far this season, mate?
I believe that, you know what, everyone was probably at the start of the season calling us as relegation, we're going to get relegated. I don't think we are. Mate, we've drawn enough games. We've topped them off. You know what? I believe that second half of the season, watch out, everyone. Daddy City, we're going to be there.
Well, look, mate, I hope you guys stay up. We sold plenty of Travapa and beer tonight just because of you guys. Thanks for coming down, boys.
Thank you very much. I love Heineken. Thank you very much.
The Dandy boys love Heineken. I'm sure there's a few Knights fans who are going to back that in.
Did you recognise anyone in those clips, Jure, that might be close to you?
It was my daughter that started. I wasn't aware of that. So
I saw you getting a bit sweaty and you're getting red in the face. I didn't like the way Zovac was looking at it, to be honest.
Oh, come on, mate.
What's going on there, man? Have you given your blessing for these sorts of shenanigans, or you're just going to let it
We'll
slide?
talk after the program, mate.
I'll see you in the car park.
So your daughter was first up, right? Not the Heineken one?
No, that's right.
And look, Big Steve wasn't too happy. I made a bit of a barb there about his Travapa. They weren't bad. Look, I'll give it to him. They weren't too bad. And he's the big fellow himself on the comments. He loves Travapa. No one could tell, mate.
No, never.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us again tonight. It's been an absolutely wonderful show. I hope to see you all down at Bob Jane tomorrow night to cheer the boys on in the FFA Cup. And the even bigger fixture is obviously the home game on Friday night, the original Melbourne Derby. Going to be it's an absolutely massive week for the club. Great week to be a fan of the club. Thank you to my guests tonight, Jure and Smolik. Thanks for jumping on, boys. Josh, once again, thanks for co-hosting. Thank you to Voyage and the team down at St Andrews Hotel for jumping on as the show's sponsor again for this year. We hope to see you all at the club on Friday night. And we've got a little bit of a treat for everyone tonight, Small.
Yeah, it was a bit of a short turnaround. I've only had a couple of years to put a song together, so I've managed to scrape something. I've got four songs on the go, and I barely got one done. I don't know if I'm missing the mojo or what it might be, but the last couple of weeks, like I said, watching particularly at the junior games with a lot more grandparents now turning up to a lot of these games, and you see the look on their faces when they see, sometimes for the first time, their grandchildren running out in a Melbourne Knights kit, be it Dobson or be it away. The look on their faces. My dad watched my oldest girl for the first time a couple of weeks ago, I think in a long time, and they came out victorious, and I've never seen him happier. No, girls soccer, boys soccer, it doesn't matter. For these grandparents, they just want to see their kids participate. They want to see them eventually become a part of the community. And like someone said to me the other day, you want to see one day, this is a Dinamo person I was actually chatting to who's got the same mindset. One day he wants his kids to come home and say, oh, that little Morvic is going to be my corm, and little Juric is going to be my best man at the wedding, etc. So it's all about community. It's not just soccer. It's community. It's bringing everyone together. As long as we stay focused and as long as we keep on good terms, that's what the song's about. And it's also a bit of a homage to our parents and grandparents that helped build the club, and unfortunately for some of those that have passed and were a part of the fabric of the of Melbourne, Croatia. Again, it's dedicated to them.
Just one more quick thing before we do go to the song. Just a quick message from the president of Melbourne Knights. This week at the home match against South Melbourne, the VIP room/lounge will be closed to the general public due to a club event. To accommodate the older members and supporters that usually watch the game from the VIP room, they'll be able to stay out of the weather. The president's box will be opened for any of them who normally sit in the VIP area there to keep them out of the weather. The club has a function that is being held in that section, hosting a few people from South Melbourne and various other parts of the footballing fraternity. So just so everyone is aware that will not be open to the public on Friday night.
It could turn into a cage match, mate. It might be better entertainment watching that than what happens on the field. We hope not.
We hope not.
We'll see if Small turns up in his Ultimate Warrior gear.
I have packed as many lawnmower blades as I could find. But so good luck on Friday night, lads.
Hopefully Yoshko's made the pitch and no one's got to bring the bowl blades out, mate.
All right, let's roll out the carpet.
Let's roll out the carpet. Thanks for joining us again. And here's a song to see us off.
Bread crates, mate, as well.
Let
Let me tell you a story about the place of my birth, the world's greatest city at the bottom of the earth. Our parents came here from across the waters and became this country's proudest sons and daughters. For them, Australia had become a new reality. They swore allegiance and an undying fidelity. They worked in factories, they worked on farms. They showed their gratitude by the blisters on their palms. Working day and night just to make a living, to give their kids the freedoms they themselves had not been given. And even if we asked, they never told us that they were carrying the weight of the world upon their shoulders. Because Australia is like one big tapestry where we were free to celebrate our proud Croatian ancestry. And even though our parents left their fatherland behind them, they still have the Melbourne Knights there to remind them. Beneath the Southern Cross I stand, Australian-born Croatian man. And what a childhood I had, going to soccer with my dad. They can try and change our names, but not what's coursing through our veins. I can take them anywhere, but today my kids are playing there. I remember getting hammered in the Batcave every Sunday, then throwing up my jiggeritza each and every Monday. On the outer, throwing cans at Bootsianis, then wiping off the gravel from my dodgy Puma runners. I didn't care that the West was not my neighbourhood. It's the place where we formed a lifelong brotherhood. But then they tried to get rid of all the pyrotechnics, but in the end they just eliminated all the ethnics. I tell stories to my kids, but none of them believes me. I'd have pastete in my sandwich and the Aussies used to tease me. But crows are resilient, so it really didn't matter, cause these morons are now paying $30 for a Brussels platter. I'm a proud Australian, but a Croat in my soul. When I go to Bunnings, I order chivapa in a roll. But every April we throw some Janse on the Rajan. One of them on Anzac Day, the other for Desti Pravan. Beneath the Mark Viduka stand, he kissed the Gurb and raised his hand. But then along came the FFA, and they don't like our DNA. I remember 1995, what a time to be alive. It's the club our parents made, make sure our colours never fade. We pay our respects to club legends Pero Basic and Tomo Božić, and to all our members and supporters that have passed in recent times. I u ime moje generacije, dok je srca, bit će I Croacije. Good night, Australia.